Hey friends, I just wanted to give you a 2-year and 3-month update on what exactly is going on with me, what what I've experienced, what I'm learning, and just give you where I'm at and what's going on since I had the surgery 2 years and 3 months ago. I wanted to give you some stats right off the bat. I am 5'6", and my current weight is 225.6, and my starting weight was 347. So I lost 121.4 pounds. I am not near my goal weight. My goal weight is 199, so I probably have 26.4 pounds to go. Depending on the day, depends on how active I am at reaching that, but it's always in the back of my mind. So I just wanted to let you know I've had some little technical difficulties to bring these movies to you, but I also wanted you to just know the things that I've kept up with, the things I need to do better at, and the things that I've started doing. Some of the things that I have always kept doing is I always try to get my protein in first. That's always been most important. And I know a lot of people who go back on the soda train after these surgeries. I'm not one of them. I have not drank any carbonation since, although I do love my energy drinks, but I love getting the energy drinks that aren't carbonated, which Rockstar Recovery is not carbonated. I always take my vitamins, and I take them at night because it's easier for me to remember. I probably overkill it on the vitamins, but I'm not vitamin deficient, so I stay up with the vitamins all the time. And one thing that I find important for myself when it comes to my own process is I always weigh myself. Today is Saturday, and I normally weigh myself every Sunday. And so that is what I'll end up doing tomorrow, see where I'm at. But just to let you know what I've been going through, and this is probably more geared towards the women, an obese woman, there's a lot of things that can happen when it comes to loss of bladder control, when you're overweight, when it just comes to the inability to move around and get around and the out of breath that comes when you're out of weight as well, or overweight as well. But also, for me, I was diagnosed with PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it makes my periods a lot heavier. Well, when I was overweight, it was ridiculously heavy. And when you're overweight, it's really hard to manage what's going on everywhere, and it just makes everything 10 times difficult. I've noticed that since I've had the surgery and I have lost a lot of weight, there are some things that tend to stick out when it comes to things that contributed to being overweight versus actual problems I may have. I noticed in just this last year and a half, the bleeding has been extremely difficult, extremely rough, and come to find out, I had a fibroid tumor in my uterus. And so I'm realizing now, instead of just coughing it up to being obese, as you lose weight, sometimes it might open up areas of concern for people to take more advantage at looking at and correcting in their health as well. And that could be anything. For me, it happened to be this fibroid tumor. And, I don't lose, my bladder is more under control now that I am a little less overweight, but there are definite things that people don't think of when it comes to being overweight that really hinder the ability to live a decent life. There are a lot of things that also contribute to your quality of life not being the best, obviously, and we know that, and that's why we've had the surgery. But I'm just saying, as you lose weight, if there are any other issues, they may come to light as you lose weight, which happened with me. So I've been dealing a lot with that. I have been a little anemic because of that. I've been doing everything, iron supplements, trying to eat iron-rich food, all of these different things, but I could have contributed to the weight surgery, but come to find out there were other things going on. So I think as we take care of our health, it's always important to take care of one thing, and it might lead to something else, but eventually you'll get taken care of the ultimate root of an issue you may be having. That's sort of a side note, but that's sort of what I've realized when it comes to losing weight, that I had other things going on that were sort of being overlooked because people would just cough it up to, oh, you're obese, or this is natural when being so overweight. So I've noticed as I've lost the weight, there have been other areas that have come to light, have been of concern, and I've had to have fixed as well. You know, that might happen as you lose weight. You know I had a hernia, and when I was extremely overweight, it would hurt and I'd always be pushing on it. But as I've lost the weight, that has gone away. So it could be both ways that this works, but this is just something that I've actually noticed. I still have a lot of body dysmorphia. I don't see myself the way other people see me. I see myself as I've always been. I think that's quite common to have a lot of body dysmorphia, but I always have to put myself in check, and I'm always working on loving me and who I am, no matter on my size. But there are definite times where I don't see myself the way other people see me. I've had some people ask me about the loose skin. I can't remember if I mentioned I am 5'6" and 225.6 right now. I think it is common. I try to have, you know, depending on how you put your arm, but I do have the loss of skin on my arms, which, you know, it's still there. I actually like my arms. I don't think they're like a huge concern, but that is a definite spot where you could see a lot of loose skin is on my arms. I obviously have loose skin on my stomach, but I actually went through the surgery, removed last week, so there's a lot I don't want to expose when it comes to just the healing and the bloatedness and swelling and scars right now. But I do have the loose skin. I think that's extremely unavoidable a lot of times when it comes to trying to be successful in weight loss surgery. But I haven't really thought, for me, it's not a huge concern to get any type of surgery to correct that. So I haven't really worried about that as much. And like I said, you know, if you wouldn't have known me, I'm not extremely skinny. And I know there's a lot of stereotypes with people who think when you get this weight loss surgery, you know, some people get extremely obsessive and skinny or extremely successful, however you want to see it, and they lose a ton of weight. But for me, a lot of people would never even really come to know that I even had this surgery. One thing that I have noticed a lot is that there are times I can eat a normal meal and I'm fine, and there's times that I'm not able to eat as much. It makes no sense to me. It messes me up in the head. Like, so many different things go through my mind when I'm able to eat things and I'm hungry and my body is letting me absorb it and eat it. I'm constantly like, oh my word, have I blown this surgery? Like, you know, you overthink about eating too much. And honestly, and then there's times my stomach won't let me eat hardly at all. And I don't know if that's common. I haven't really done a lot of research into that, but that is definitely one thing that I have noticed. So I've sort of had to stop telling people, and I've probably stopped for about a year now telling people about the surgery, because definitely not because I'm ashamed of it, but just because you really can't tell that I had it in a weird way. I mean, I know I've lost a lot of weight, and people that have known me have known I've lost a lot of weight, but I feel like I'm at a healthy size for me. And although I'd still like to lose more, it's really not apparent anymore when I eat, or maybe it's something I've gotten over, but it's not really a huge issue when it comes to me eating a lot or not. I'm not as insecure about it as I was before, maybe. That's probably more it. But it's just been interesting how I've evolved when it's come to eating out with friends or eating in front of people, or feeling like I have to make excuses on why I'm not eating as much or defending myself. All that sort of has gone away in the time that I've had it. And that could be maybe the confidence that I have gone in myself, but it also could be me used to this new body that I have. I don't know. I've noticed I actually just cut 3 inches off my hair today, but I feel like my hair has grown back quite a lot. And I don't know if it's because I pay attention to protein. I don't know if it's because I'm not vitamin deficient. I don't know, but I don't really struggle. I mean, I lose the natural hair in the shower like I did before, but the big globs and clumps, I don't really have that anymore. And I feel, you know, every time I get my hair done, they're like, wow, your hair's really growing back. It's not as thick as it used to be, but it's definitely better. There's a definite improvement, and I'm not losing it as much as I am. And just, you know, when I do curl my hair, it's a little bit more of an illusion on how much hair I do have. So, but yeah, I feel like that's not a place where I'm insecure at all. And that was something I was a little worried about when I first started. But I would say that my hair pretty much started coming back 8 months after the surgery, and I started to feel like I wasn't losing as much, or I had lost all that I was going to lose. And everyone could be different on this. Some people may never get their hair back. Some people might. Everyone, I think, is different. And I don't know if it really has to do with the precautions we take. I mean, I do take biotin. I do take a hair, nails, and skin supplement that is in my vitamin regimen. So I don't know, that could contribute to it. I always try to pay attention. There was for a while I was using biotin shampoo and conditioner. I would always just pay attention to that and make sure that that was something that I was getting to help with that area. But I don't know if it must have helped. It couldn't have hurt. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with my hair. So that's nice. Another thing that I waited for last to talk about, because it's so fun to talk about, is poop. Poop and gas. Oh my gosh. Yeah, my poop is really soft now. It's not hard as much anymore. I think I've literally can remember one time it's been hard since my surgery. It's more of a soft serve. I know that sounds really gross, but it's more soft. And I have a lot of it. I am pretty regular. At the very beginning, it would depend on what I ate, and things would go through me right away. Now I think my body may hold on to things a little bit more, but if I eat something one day, the next day I will be pooping it out. Yeah, I mean, just a little TMI to get really gross on you. I went on vacation with some family members, one of them being my mom, and I was like, Mom, look at this. And I had gone to the bathroom and I showed her, and she had never seen anything like that. I mean, it was just a lot of poop. And granted, I had the Loop DS surgery, which is like, I guess they called it the Saudi as well. It's not the traditional duodenal switch surgery, but they adjust your intestines to create less of a pathway going through all your intestines. So there is a shorter pathway through your intestines before it reaches your bowels. And so there's a shorter track, so your body shouldn't be absorbing everything. The DS is a lot shorter. The true duodenal switch is a lot shorter. And I hear people who have that have way more issues with having to go to the bathroom on a regular. But for me, I know this sounds really weird, but I really appreciate it because I feel like my surgery is doing something. Like, that's exactly what I had this surgery, and why I didn't just have the VSG is because I knew I had a lot of weaknesses on my own and I needed help. In addition to the stomach, I needed something else to make sure things went through me faster and I didn't hold on to the bad choices that I would have or consume. So yeah, and it stinks so bad. And it lingers. Like, I kid you not, before the surgery, I may have had gas. I, of course, pooped, but like, it was not as horrific smelling as it is now. And so I haven't tried poopery or any of that other stuff. But yeah, it's definitely a situation where if I'm in public or at someone's house, I definitely think twice about going number 2 in someone's bathroom. And the gas, I don't want to scare you away from having the surgery, but this is something I knew about. I just didn't know how I personally would be affected. And I don't think it's easy to be able to tell anyone how they would personally be affected by this. But my gas will literally clear a room. It is pretty bad. And I still cannot pinpoint on what creates it. You know, I'll be fine eating frozen yogurt, and then there'll be a time I'm not fine eating frozen yogurt and I will have gas. Or there's a time I'm fine eating pasta, and then there's a time I'm not fine eating pasta. Or there's a time I'm fine eating fried foods, and then there's times I'm not okay eating fried foods. So I honestly have not figured out. And it's weird, but even 2.3 years after having the surgery, I'm still trying to figure things out in my body. I still don't understand it. And yet, is the whole poop and gas thing an insecurity? A little bit. I would be lying if it wasn't. When it comes to dating, I am really insecure about it. Really insecure about it. I mean, it's not that I can't control it, obviously. I can control it for the most part. But like, if I ever start seriously dating someone, it's gonna have to be a conversation we have, which is embarrassing and awkward. But honestly, looking back, even with that all being said, I still wouldn't trade, or I do not regret having the surgery. It's something now that I have to be more aware of, plan ahead for, think about, but at the same time, I'm able to be a lot more mobile. I am able to hold my urine in my bladder because I'm not completely obese and having problems making it to the bathroom. I have picked up exercising. Actually, before I just had this surgery, I started exercising pretty heavily in December, a couple months ago, and was pretty regular, about 5 to 6 days a week, and just feeling healthy, feeling good, feeling strong. It was helping with my body dysmorphia. It was helping in a lot of areas that I needed. And so, but then of course, I had the surgery and I have to wait so long to be able to work out, which I know in my head it's setting me back and it's just gonna be harder to get back on that train. But the workouts, I feel like, have completely helped with making me feel healthy, making me feel good about myself. So I have incorporated those, but it's come to a halt for a little bit until I have my checkup to see how things have been going. But yeah, there are gives and takes with everything. There's gives and takes with being obese, with people who are okay living that lifestyle, and I support them with that. And then there are people who are not okay living that lifestyle and take these routes of surgery that also have give and takes. I mean, there's pros and cons to everything. And for me, I would not regret having the surgery, even with the new accommodations that I have to look forward to or talk about or discuss. It just is what it is, and I am 10 times happier now than I definitely was before. And so anyway, I just really, I feel happier. I'm getting my health more under control and taken care of. I don't worry about how my clothes fall anymore. I don't worry about bending over and tying my shoes. I don't worry about buying shoes that have laces on them. I don't worry about taking a plane ride and having to get an extender, or sitting in a theater chair and overlapping into the other person's chair, eating things and having them fall on my chest, like being able to lean over a plate or over a table and not be so stuck against the table that I can't even lean over because I've hit the capacity. I mean, I'm not afraid of booths in restaurants. There's just such a quality of life that I feel like I did not realize what all of the insecurities I had before. And so I definitely still stand firm, and I don't regret the surgery. And so I know there's still a lot of people out there that are trying to decide if this is for them, whether they're in the process of working out things so that they can get the surgery, or whether they're in the process of finding the questions and answers that they need to figure out if this surgery is for them, because it is scary. You know, it is a big decision. It is something to really think about. But, you know, there, in all the things that I just mentioned, there's a lot of good that comes from this as well. And I'm glad that I did take the measures of finding out as much as I could as possible to be able to ask as many questions, research, figure out the pros and cons, and realize that I needed a better quality of life, that I was just killing myself. I felt like I was giving up on my life, and that's where I was. I'm not saying everyone is at that point, but that's where I was, and I was just truly unhappy. And for me, I was so depressed in my situation where it was either give up on life and let myself die a slow, obese death, or take action and try to make a better life for myself. And so I know everyone's opportunities or financial obligations also take a change when it comes to having the surgery too. So I was literally in a situation where my insurance was able to pay for it. And I feel like it was definitely an inspired thing for me to do at the time. Anyway, with all of that being said, 2.3 years later, this is how I feel about things. This is what I'm going through. Yes, the poop and gas is a real thing, real thing. And it's funny because my grandma had a gastric bypass surgery, and as she got older, she was so stinky, and I did not understand why. She has since passed on from old age or whatever, and now I get it. Things that she would never talk about that I'm like, I wish she would have talked about. But like I said, there's a ton of things that you can do when it comes to like the poopery. I'm sure I haven't tried that, or like air fresheners, or even Gas X, or different medication you can take to help with the gas. Like, it is manageable. But anyway, I just wanted to give you guys an update. It's been a while, and I've missed you. Sorry it's been so delayed, but if I've helped you out, give me a thumbs up. If you like what you're hearing, subscribe. I will try to be more on top of it when it comes to putting more videos out. If you have questions or suggestions on videos you'd like to see, leave them in the comments. I'm really good at getting into all the comments, but I just really appreciate all your support. You guys are some of the nicest people I know, and you are so kind because you really understand and have empathy for people in similar situations. So I just really appreciate the kindness that I have received from so many of you. And I hope you guys have a wonderful 2020, and I look forward to talking to you a lot more. See you guys.